Hi, this is Alex Shaw, and I wanted to share with you today. It's a hot Texas day outside, and we're just coming back from Covina, and our building, the pool is filled with people having fun and joy. So if you hear some of that, hey, that's the way life is. Um, I want you to understand how you can use time travel, astral projection, out of body, it's all the same thing, to find out things or do something you want to do just for fun, to go and visit someone at a different place, sometimes a different country, sometimes a different time zone. We can actually all learn how to do that. I'm going to be doing a class pretty soon about this, and we're going to astrally project back to our birth, to 100 years ago. What was their name? What were we doing? But I'm going to just share a couple of experiences today so you kind of know what I'm talking about. Okay, one of my friends was an Edgar Cayce devotee. He loved Edgar Cayce, and he wrote about Jesus, so I wasn't opposed to that, and he just insisted that I was psychic. So we went to a Edgar Cayce seminar in Dallas, and the deal was if I was psychic, I'd pay the $50, and if I wasn't, then I didn't have to. So he bought the ticket. His wife went. She was a school teacher. So we all went. We had fun, and they talked about out of body, and they used creative visualization, which is what I use in a class. Not like hypnosis. You're under your very own power. You can pop your eyes open at any time if there was an emergency, but it's suggestions, to help you be able to go back. And I don't lead the witness when I work with these things and say, oh, you need to see this, you need to do that. I say, okay, now focus on who you miss the most that's in heaven. And then we literally are able to take a journey through your love to connect with that. My friend decided that I needed to know how to astrally project. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. So he said, well, picture yourself going to see somebody that you know. And when you get to their house, walk right through the door. Go to wherever, if it's late, they're sleeping, go. So I thought to myself, where would I go? And I thought, wow, I think that I would go and hit up my ex-husband for child support. A lot of money. So, I waited till about midnight. I know they go to bed about 11 at their house. And I literally saw myself flying above my car. I drove to their city. I walked through the door. I went through the bedroom door. They were, he and his wife were both asleep. And I stood on the opposite side of his nightstand, right, by the drapes, and in case he could see me. And when I did, I called his name, and I said, it's really not fair what you've done to your kid. It's really not fair. You've not been fair. You go to the Bahamas, you do all this other stuff, and it's not fair. It's just not fair. And I saw him roll over in the bed and pull the pillow over his head. When he used to have bad dreams, he would, 50 years ago when I was married to him, he would pull the pillow over his head. So, poof, it vanished in my head. So, that weekend, my son, that was about, I guess he was about 16, he came home from the visit with his dad, and he said, yeah, Mom, the man is still in love with you. I said, oh, no, he's not in love with me. Not at all. And, that ended a long time ago. And he said, Mom, he said he had a dream about you, and you were standing right beside his nightstand bitching at him about the child support he owed. I could not stop laughing. I said, what an absurd dream to my son. I never once confessed this anywhere out loud ever, but you don't know who he is, and you don't need to, and it doesn't matter. People don't go against whatever their true nature is. So, although I could suggest something, it didn't happen. So, one of my friends at church, she saw visions, and she would read the visions standing on your lifeline, your career, your love line, things like that. And she told me, she said, now, don't mess with this gift. I said, I don't even hardly know what it is. I'm just beginning to understand. And she said, don't do anything silly or stupid. I thought, okay. So after I talked to her, she actually came to live with us for about 2/3 of a year. And she was my assistant Sunday school teacher. She was just a delightful person. And so she goes to bed, my husband goes to bed. It's a real quiet house. And so I began to think in the bathtub about, wow, I wonder, he said, fly in tonight, say hello, and fly out, at his home. And he'd tell his wife that I might drop by. Okay, this isn't a physical contact. This is like a mind thing. Pop in, pop out. So, so I saw myself driving there. I saw myself going in the front door. I saw myself sitting down the edge of the bed, and they were both in peaceful sleep. And it was like that ghost that rises up out of the dead person. And I saw him, a part of his spirit, sit up. And he said, Alex, what are you doing here? And I said, well, you told me to come and see if the flying worked. He said, well, apparently it is. He said, I have another question. I said, what is it? And he says, why are you naked? When he said that, I just started squealing in the bathtub. I'm like, why would I think that would ever happen? What an insane thing is to go to visit somebody and them actually be able to see you in his spirit. So a couple of days later, he and his wife came in, and I said, did you see me in your room the other night? And he said, well, he said, I saw you like stand in the door going, I can't come in, I can't come in. So somehow, Holy Spirit has saved me from actually, being naked in that vision. So that's an absurd thing, but that's the way it really happened. And the crazy thing is when I went, woo, oh, and I realized what I had done. Okay, every light in my house went black. The entire place went black. I walked through the hallway, and there's my friend, my Sunday school teacher friend, and she just kept shaking her head. She says, you messed with it, didn't you? I said, I don't know what I did. And she said, you tried that astral projection out-of-body stuff, didn't you? And it blew up in your face. And she said, let's go outside. And there was a huge red cloud of dust directly over where he lived in the next city. And the two power and light terminals that were outside the transformers, these giant transformers a block away, they were exploding with fire. Fire was shooting all over. I'm not taking credit for it. They had 10 trucks down there, and they were done by 8 a.m. But I'm just like, what a bizarre coincidence. And see, I was just playing with it. So you can actually, if you're wondering about your mom, just stop, think about going to her house, just actually standing in her house, looking around, see where she is. Sometimes you'll actually see them in front of the TV or see them cooking their meals, okay? But there's no otherworldly experience. It's just a matter of focusing in your mind's eye and then allowing yourself to visit that location. So those are only a couple of odd stories about astral projection. I'm telling you the worst it ever was, but you can read about it, you can play with it, and I wouldn't suggest sitting in the bathtub and trying it, but God bless you. I do these videos as a way to help you understand your own spirit and some of the odd things that happen to us. God bless.